wise. Champagne on ice. God always see some my people gon' pull up in Rover. Any day this life gon' flash before your eyes. And a girl like you, I see my old design. And the way I feel for you, can't be described, no. No, no. I lose my mind, oh. Baby, oh. You drive me crazy, oh. But you not hear me, oh. Turn on your radio. Put it all on me, oh. Write this song for you. I've been gone from you, way too long from you. How'd you go? Haspambege baza sole moyeni, so pele moyeni. Emlanje, kada la zula au jigelele, au jigelele, jigelele, jigelele.
Good Evening Ghana is brought to you by Castlegate Company Limited.
Sorry about that, and sorry that we are late today. We were all over the place trying to introduce a football conversation to the conversation that we already have, which is about the Vigilante bill. Tonight, we have a full conversation with Dr. Kwesi Ennin, which was recorded earlier by Skype because he's out of Accra. And he said some interesting things about the bill. And we also have an editorial, our own opinion on the Vigilante. We think that people will circumvent the bill, and the bill might not work if we don't tackle the fundamentals. And we say what those fundamentals are. We mentioned names like J.J. Rawlings and others being responsible for the fundamentals. But in our post on Facebook today, for Good Evening Ghana's edition, this is what we posted on our Facebook page for those of you who saw it. Can we have a look at it and read it again so that we will oblige our people? Now, this is what we posted. Tonight on Good Evening Ghana, that's GEG, we will discuss the Vigilante bill and related matters, including the massive oil find, editorial, and then interview with Kwesi Ennin. If United win, now hear that. If United win, we will start with that. If United win, we'll start with that. Good luck to all. See you at 9 p.m. on TV, online, and on Facebook. And 9 p.m., of course, became 9:23 p.m. Sorry about that. We sincerely apologize for that. So Facebookers who were watching wrote to us and said that if United don't win, still go ahead and discuss the Champions League night. So we have obliged that request. United didn't win. They were shambolic at the Nou Camp tonight. They could have taken the lead in the first 5 minutes. Marcus Rashford hit the bar with an obvious chance, as we say in Ghana. It was a me and you, and he threw the ball away into the crossbar. Ashley Young, wow, he played like a Hearts of Oak player. Did you see that? Ashley Young, he played like a Hearts of Oak player. I don't know where he got the Phobian spirit from in displaying such ignorance on the field in front of Lionel Messi. It was very sad. So we are starting with that. And because we are not experts in football, at least not anymore, or not quite current, Veronica Komi is joining us live on the phone to tell us how she saw the game before we get into the rest of our program. Hello, Veronica Komi. Good evening. Welcome to the show.
Hi, good evening, Paul. How are you today?
Excellent. I can hear you clearly. So tell us, going into the game at the Nou Camp, did you think that United had a chance, given their tremendous European history and what happened at Paris Saint-Germain the other day? Did you think Manchester United had a chance?
I actually thought that what happened at Paris was more of one bit of luck. The powder had to dry at some point. Ole has had a huge following and a lot of belief. But I thought going to the Nou Camp to win was going to be a tall order. I know that when the first leg was played at the Old Trafford and United lost by a goal, a lot of people had confidence and said that United kept their shape. They were a lot of discipline, and maybe they should have registered a goal to pick a draw. And they walked into the Nou Camp with that kind of confidence. But with the display of Barca on the day that we all saw that they were ordinary, that they didn't play according to what we know of Barcelona, I thought they were always going to turn up at home at the Nou Camp to make sure that. So for me, it was always going to be a tall order for United to win away. And I think today, the golfing quality was so huge that you almost couldn't think it was possible.
Okay, so as far as you're concerned, the results reflected the strength in the two teams.
It did in all aspects of the game, because if you look at the quality of United, this is the fifth time they've lost on the road. If you look at the quality of players and just oppose it to that of Barcelona, Paul, you cannot confidently say that 90% of these players of United would walk into the Barca team. I mean, it's okay that after Marino, they seem to have found themselves and they were winning. But compared to Barcelona, I know a lot of people have said that when Messi is not at his best, or without Messi, Barca is that ordinary. But you cannot say that if you compare the likes of Coutinho, Rakitic, and you come back and look at the defense of Barcelona, you cannot tell me that that quality can be compared to that of United. Barca was always going to be ahead of United today. I think that the United supporters themselves, deep down, hope that it won't be an embarrassment, and somehow it didn't happen. I know they began the game quite well, kept the shape, and the first two goals, you would say that were mistakes, and also one from De Gea. But really, overall, they were not threatening, because if you compare the two teams, one of the most ridiculous things is that Barcelona didn't seem to be trying. They didn't have to try. They were just walking around, and at some point, United were just chasing shadows. And I think that is what I mean when I describe the golfing quality between the two teams.
When you look at the other game, where Ajax Amsterdam seemed to be the revelation of this particular Champions League tournament, they went away to Juventus and they did what they did to Real Madrid. How did you see that game?
I had watched Ajax throughout the campaign. What they did at Madrid was unreal. If you watch football often, you will think that miracles don't happen as often as it did. You would go back and remember when Monaco was just tearing everybody apart at a certain point in the Champions League. I have forgotten the exact year. If you look at Ajax now, you're almost thinking it's an incarnation of what we saw of Monaco. And so the next season, there was a big raid and everybody were buying their big players. I look at Ajax, and one thing that permeates through their game is that these are a bunch of boys who are very hungry, dedicated, they fight for each other. And on top of it all, they have a lot of energy, and they display it on the pitch. And one beauty about them is that they seem to be fearless. It's very difficult for any team to put them away. Because if you watch them against Juve tonight, Juve went ahead, and it was almost easy to think that after what they had done before getting here, Juve would topple them. A lot of people on social media say that Juve will use the experience to go through in the end. If you remember their game against Atletico, it was defining in the end because Ronaldo had to rise up. That kind of experience is the reason people thought that Juve would come through today. And I think that deservedly, it has to be Ajax. What surprises me is the ability to keep it all together after beating Real Madrid, to go to Turin of all places to beat Juve. It's an exciting experience, really, to be a football fan, to watch a young team like Ajax do what they are doing.
Let me take your predictions on tomorrow's games. Manchester City would have to win and win more than 1-0 at their own stadium tomorrow when they play Tottenham, a co-Premier League, English Premier League club. And Liverpool have a not so complicated responsibility to go away to Porto and hold their own to a draw or get beaten by 1-0 and they're in. What's your prediction for tomorrow?
At the Etihad, it's always difficult to push City away. There's been only few teams in the Premier League that had that luck this season. Spurs began the season in a manner that would make you think that they were going to be a huge contenders. And the tabletop won't be, or the push for the title won't be between City and Liverpool. It didn't seem like they were the third force. It seemed like they belonged to the very top three. But somehow there is something about Spurs. When they are ordinary, they are super ordinary. And when they rise up, somehow they have the ability to beat any team. I think tomorrow should be a very cagey one. However, I still fancy the experience of Guardiola and his squad. Because if you look at them, they just haven't been impeccable at home. Away they can do well, except that last week it didn't happen at the new Spurs Stadium. I feel City will nick it in the end tomorrow. And Liverpool, Porto. I expect Liverpool to be able to hold their own. The quality of players they have in attack, the attack is ridiculous. The defense didn't seem to look so until recently. Now they are very composed. Now they are the team you want to watch. And I get the sense that following what they went through at the last Champions League, where they were in the finals, I have every indication that they are able to build on that experience to beat Porto, or at least pick a draw to be able to go through.
So your four semi-finalists will be Manchester City, Liverpool, Barcelona, and of course Ajax Amsterdam. Where is the final going?
The final game?
Yes.
I hope Ajax could go to the finals. It would be a new resurgence for football, because people are beginning to have a conversation about how, if you look at the United squad now, there are a bunch of players who were bought at a very high price. And football generally seems to be following that trend these days. Players seem to be hyped, or they are worth a huge amount of money. But if you look at Ajax, you may combine these boys, the team, and their price won't be worth what was spent on, say, Pogba or Lukaku. So I feel that if they are able to go to the finals and hopefully win it, there will be a difference or a new conversation regarding how it's not just about players who are high profile, but players who are more hungry, maybe younger players who can really fight together, but not individuals who feel that they've achieved everything and really they have nothing to prove on the field, unless they decide that today we want to prove a lot.
Given that the English Premier League produced the highest number of quarterfinalists, 4 of them, Manchester United, Manchester City, Liverpool, and Tottenham, should nature bring the trophy to England?
Oh, you want to talk about it coming home again? I don't think it is down to nature. I feel that City has the quality to go all the way to the finals, not just because of Guardiola, but if you look at the depth in the team, Sterling, how his team improved, almost the whole squad, you could almost not pick anybody apart in terms of quality and how they can just wake up and dismantle any team. So I feel they would have whatever it takes to go all the way to the finals. But whether the trophy would end up in England, if it has, Liverpool would deserve it more for me.
I see. So I'm interested in Manchester United. I'm interested in knowing where you think United go from here. They still have to fight for a top 4 place in the English Premier League. Is it positive?
It is possible. I know when Ole arrived, people didn't expect much. Suddenly, it was like Mourinho left. He left us here. We just have to try and make sure that we end up in a very good place. And somehow, they were just winning on the road, at home, and the love was huge to the extent that they had to make him the permanent manager. If you look at the team today and how they turn up in games, I feel that they have the history that backs them to be able to get into the top 4. Because until Mourinho left, it was almost difficult to think that they would even get into the top 6. And if you just suppose that to where Chelsea was at that point, and even Spurs, and the fact that as now United, Chelsea, and Spurs at some point would have to be alternating in terms of getting into the top 4. I feel that any of these teams would have the chance. And I feel that after what happened tonight to United, they would be a lot more motivated to push into the top 4 because their ego is bruised, just a couple of games to go, and they still have what it takes. Unfortunately, they get to meet City as soon as I think the weekend, where it's important they lock it down. But last season, a lot of people didn't think they could beat City based on City's form and everything they showed in the league. But somehow, United are able to dig in. And I feel that if they are very determined into getting into the top 4 and playing the Champions League again, they have every reason, or they have the pedigree to get them.
Thank you very much, Veronica, coming for your time, and thank you very much for speaking to us. Have a great evening.
Pleasure.
So that was Veronica Comey who spoke to us just now. Do we have a commercial break? Maybe we do. We'll take it at some point. But tonight, we have a conversation for you. So, of course, I've satisfied those of our Facebook followers who insisted that whether Manchester United won or not, we should begin with the Manchester United defeat discussion as it was. It turned out to be that, and hopefully we have done justice to all of you. Thank you very much. We are very interested in what you want us to discuss on the program because you're the reason why we are here. This is still Good Evening Ghana, and it's live, and it's what time now? It's now 40 minutes to the top of the hour, 10 o'clock. I've had a conversation with Dr. Kwesi Ennin, which you should hear, about vigilantism. He said some many major things. As you know, Kwesi Ennin speaks his mind, and we discussed the bill, and it was a very interesting and fruitful conversation. It's coming up shortly. We also compared in that conversation the weight of the Justice Emil Short report, which is now out partially in the media, and the weight of the bill that's gone before Parliament, because the concern is that when the bill becomes an act of Parliament, it is law, and it weighs higher than any recommendation of Justice Short. Dr. Ennin had very controversial responses to that particular question I asked him. Before then, though, we are going to do an editorial on the big issue of the political vigilantism and our view on the matter. That editorial is only 16 minutes long, but is loaded with our very frank and honest views, as we always do in our editorial opinions. During the weekend, however, we looked at social media. We found this man of God, it's a pastor, who was speaking at the president event in the northwestern region. He said a prayer for the president in Akan. It's a major, massive political prayer that was shared among many people. For those of you who have not seen it, we're going to show it to you. It lasts for about 3.5 minutes, just to get you ready for our editorial opinion. Here is what the pastor said.
Nama fasa kwa wesu Adom-Otchere madawase se osofo se won nsem a wo kan se ye mompa ye mawo na wo ba wo be ye no ye bompa ye mawo na wo ba yesu ni nyame hwammo niama papa akasi a wo kan ya nipa suro nika wo de akokoduro kan na de akokoduro so hwo se nipa ti ase o nipa nti ase o nyame hirawo Yes, I will butaye, as I say, we need butaye. What the butaye can see a sewer, so now Kunwa room pa. Wako. Bemen Yansafo, who drove for. Now within summer, Cassia, Cassia, city penny so. Now has a answer, never bem. Yamisha, our dream pa. Sir, what the Ghana, mine. Yagini see near Marcus Yakas, so. Casa, my Marco school. Now, ye Yasumu, why? Chu, Ebe day, Nelson Abaso, hallelujah. In Shra and Kawudin, Mra Yakeka back Ghana Bakosam, Nayadi Shaya whom cry. Sir, Uradi Mayam penny for men, my papa. A Bakwa Bakosam, sir. Debbie, or Penibia rather than a chair or Maya near Frenana, Adudan Kwa Akufu Ado, or Baba Yeni Papa Juma. So Baba Juna here for Mobro for now, my Yaquanya say, Obia, Najim Dahodia. Our person will go school, dear. Won't go school. Na, on Quanoqua. Sa school, quiet, Nipa be better hoping. Nana, but before Banquan and a new idea. No, Pian and new idea, dear. Obe says, Kuka, and I would yaba. Yamin Shroud. Martai, Bebre, Boa Basso. I was idea and home. But I am see and this was Yamu and say, Yamun, my papa home day. Now, who born my papa home day? Now, yes, or mine, Papa Pano, and I may say, Nananum, or buy him a name penny for, so your position, so in your position, ye nipama, or buy now, we as I see soon here, Yamun, my papa home day. Now, you born my papa home day, ye may be a year. Ye kuro be ye, ye busu ya be ye, na ye yankasa so ye be ye. Okoni ya urade ko anana. Me show cry. Says how okuya. Wudi asi wani so ye hwe. Ni ama woro nkakra nkakra. Wakeka ede abomu a, wa ye ede ama ye a. Ya kuma entu hon. Ye hwe school for, nurse for, a wo ma wo akatua. A wotimi de ebo wa brabo. Our friend Alawa, teacher trainers, Edia, afforestation, Ubuabu Nipano, a man that's what my one. A year graduate unemployed. Say, Aquaform. A year daya, Napco for Nipa Yanya Kwawum. When sounds will be that's why you be. Sana Montiono Kra was Shasiano, said Nipa 80, and a mood 30 Krania Biaya, Nana Yamishra. Why are there? Every say ni da so aba ama nipa ebebre me bom pa yese ya mampanin nyame nipa saudi nyame din sha ase yi fa nyame din to aso na say urade wo wafa obia wo soritia wo no obedi nkugo wo ya dance ma Ghana say wo pani afeso nyame de ahode bi agu mu a e kire say wo no afrew na adwuma wode ama wo de ho ahode ama wo mrantie bebre ntimi nyina wo na so Nanso ye hwe rounds a wo koye ye de to abawie ye aseda a wakọ parties mun tutu ya horo meetings a horo informations a horo asesa wo tena se kan na ya breath of time wo hoda so ye fese wo da so gina wo na so wo sa nana nyame ne ye adini ye.
Living among your peers in a serene gated community with tarred roads, drains, electricity, piped water supply and 24-hour security can be so relieving. That is the experience you will enjoy when you reserve the Castle Residency plots located near Prampram Beach and Katamanso near Adenta Barrier. Just pay up to 60% deposit and start construction to start enjoying Prampram Beach and Airport City life. You can start with any deposit. We give you a whopping 10% discount if you make an outright payment. The Castle Residency plots are managed by Castlegate Estate Ghana Limited. Locate our offices at Katamanso Estate site off the Adenta Barrier Dodua Road or Prampram Beach Road next to Oasis International School, or contact us on 0545 559928, our website on www.castlegateestate.com.gh or email us at info@castlegateestate.com.gh. The Castle Residency plots. We make home ownership easier.
Sorry about that. Just a little bit. Okay, so back on Good Evening Ghana tonight. It's 45 minutes, actually 15 minutes at top of the hour, 10 o'clock. We have two conversations for you about the political vigilantism. One of them is a Skype conversation we had with Dr. Kwesi Ennin. Before then, though, we put up our own editorial opinion about the matter. Now, in this opinion, we are going to argue that we think that there's a fundamental problem that must be resolved. If that fundamental problem is not resolved, then the bill that's before Parliament under a certificate of emergency, whenever it becomes law, it will be circumvented in the 2020 election because there are fundamental cracks within our development challenge relating to security and relating to the trust and confidence of public institutions. If that is not sorted, the bill will be circumvented. Here is our editorial opinion.
Land of freedom, toils of the brave, and the sweat of their labors, toils of the brave, which have brought results.
Welcome to another opinion editorial tonight on Good Evening Ghana, and we are talking about the bill that's before Parliament under a certificate of emergency. The Attorney General has sent a bill to Parliament, I believe on the instructions of the President, because in a sessional address, the President indicated that if the discussions about the vigilante matters that he was urging the two political parties to do fail, that if those discussions fail, he, Mr. President, will initiate legislation in that regard. So I think that's what the President has done. The bill is interesting and is detailed, and it has definitions of vigilante all over the place. Now, tonight's editorial is about the bill, and it's also about the contextual difficulty of this matter. And we have an opinion on this matter, which might not be very popular and which many people may not have averted their minds to, but we are hoping that this will begin a discussion where people are going to look in that direction as well for the betterment of our country and for solving the ultimate problem of our national development challenges. Now, the bill is calling for vigilante groups to be banned. In fact, it names some of the vigilante groups that have to be banned. It says that all the groups must be banned, and it says that in future, persons who show up for political purposes at political events who are there to enforce law and order will be deemed to be practicing the now abolished vigilantism, and such persons will be arrested and prosecuted. That's beautiful, and we understand that. The concern we have tonight, though, is perhaps maybe we should put it in a better historical context. Now, all of these matters started with NDC and MPP quarrels and NDC and MPP mistrust of each other. So that if the MPP is in power, the NDC doesn't trust them. If the NDC is in power, the MPP doesn't trust them. Where did all this start from? Perhaps it started with this man, Flight Lieutenant Rawlings. When he was president of Ghana in the latter days, there was a unit in the Ghana Armed Forces called the 64 Infantry Battalion. This 64 Infantry Battalion was thought to be a private army that Mr. Rawlings created to protect his regime and himself. And so it created a lot of difficulty among the ranks of the soldiers, and therefore people who were political opponents of Rawlings became worried about the excesses of the 64 Infantry Battalion. Also, ACDRs and CDRs were set up right within the Ghana Armed Forces, where within the armed forces there were CDRs. That's CDR is the Committee for the Defense of the Revolution, and therefore they were partisan according to the NDC politics. They were also set up in the armed forces, etc., etc. In 2000, when the NPP took over, President Kufuor took steps to disband these ACDRs and CDRs in the Ghana Armed Forces, and also the 64 Infantry Regiment was converted to now become a regular infantry regiment of the Ghana Armed Forces called the Rapid Response Unit, and they were relocated from wherever they were to Burma Camp near the Reki headquarters. So that was the first example. Now, I'm not blaming JJ for that, and our editorial is not blaming JJ for that, but we're saying that that was the first example of a leader, head of state, sort of shifting the architecture of the Ghana Armed Forces, the architecture of the Ghana Armed Forces military police, whose responsibility it is to protect leadership. That was the first time you had a shift in it where an army was created in that regard. Those who had lived in the Nkrumah era, and those who had read the books about Nkrumah also told us that there was something called the Osagyefo's Own Guard, which was part of the regular army, but which was dedicated to the protection of Osagyefo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. So following after that, and then came President Kufuor in government, and then there was not much of vigilantism between 2000 and 2004. Neither was there between 2004 and 2008. But sometime later, before 2008, there were by-elections, and the by-elections turned out to be particularly violent, and all sorts of things were happening. And it was found that ruling parties during by-elections took advantage of the fact that they were in power, and they meted out brutalization to the opposition, or where people who were members of the ruling party had dealt, severe, illegal and immoral punches to opposition members. Around the by-election, nothing happened to them. When people who were members of the government drove through crowds at the by-election, as it was reported that Anita DeSoso did, nothing happened to them, etc., etc. Then grew the concept of vigilantism, where opposition parties were building up hefty macho men to protect themselves. And so that's all of these matters led us to Ayawaso West Wogons elections. And we know that Zoka boys were in there. We know Delta forces. At some point, they had names. And within the MTP politics of 2014 and 2016, there was the confusion between the national executive and other members of the party, the Paul Afoko situation, etc. All that created all of these vigilantes. And by the time President Akufo-Addo was sworn into office in 2017, it was a problem that Ghanaian political observers were beginning to worry about, the concept of vigilantism in Ghanaian politics. But it came to a head in the Ayawaso West Wogon election, and we all know what happened. The president was told by important senior citizens that a commission should be set up to look at this, and thankfully the Emil Short Commission was set up, etc., etc. The president said in his State of the Nation address in 2019 to Parliament that he would look at this vigilante, and as we already said, he said he will initiate legislation. That legislation has now been initiated. So, what is our comment about the legislation? Legislation is welcome, is all well and good, but here is the catch. If I am a member of Parliament and I'm contesting the seat in Laboni, which will be the Ladadekotopon constituency in 2020, and I'm attending a rally, and I'm going to speak to people. So if I'm from party left, party A, and I know that the area around Laboni Secondary School belongs to my opponent, I'm not very popular there, but I have to campaign there anyway, which happens in every constituency. All over the world, constituencies will have the divisions where they are popular somewhere and they are not popular somewhere. So if I'm attending a rally there, should I go to the Laboni Secondary School without a macho man bodyguard? Should I do that? Should I just walk in the company of my campaign team, who are not macho men, who are not martial artists, who cannot protect me against an aggressor, and show up at Laboni Secondary School and hope that I will conduct my campaign in peace? Or that even if I don't conduct my campaign in peace, should I be comforted that if someone approaches me sent by my opponent or just angry with me for campaigning and throws a piece of specialized water on me, should I be confident that the police in Laboni, at the Laboni police station, will apprehend this person and put this person before court, and within a matter of 48 hours, that person will see justice and I will find comfort? Would I be confident that that will happen? If I will not be confident that that will happen, then I will have a macho man with me. I'll just not call him a vigilante. He'll be in my party colors. He's well built, he's hefty, you'll be afraid to come near me. I can have 4 of them, 5 of them, 6 of them, 12 of them to surround the podium when I'm speaking so that there'll be no interruptions. I don't have evil intention towards anyone. I'm a member of Parliament. I'm just defending myself. And why am I defending myself? I'm defending myself because I am not confident that when somebody throws specialized water on me at Laboni Secondary School in the middle of the campaign, the police, when the matter is reported to them, will apprehend the person, whether the person belongs to the ruling party or belongs to the opposition, that they will apprehend the person and I will find comfort and the person will see justice. I'm not confident about that. What am I saying? We are saying tonight, ladies and gentlemen, that the foundation to our problem is to have the institutions of state working. That's the foundation to our problem. Hear this policeman who spoke about the matter. Have a look at it. Hear him. He spoke about the same matter.
This is one major thing. Let's not forget that police is the coercive arm of government. And because the coercive arm of government, no party in opposition will trust the Ghana Police Service. No party. Let MPP go to opposition next 4 years, next 8 years. The next day, they will not trust the police. Why? And I was last year at a CDD workshop with Mr. Okujetu Ablakwa. And Dr. Ennin was present. I asked him a question directly. Do you trust? They had just left office not quite 3 or 4 months. And I asked him, do you trust the Ghana Police Service? He went into a rigmarole, and at the end of the day, the import was that they don't. And these were people who had been in power for 8 years. What did they do to the Ghana Police Service that all of a sudden they don't trust after 3 months out of office? And what will this government be doing to the police that when they leave office after 2-3 months or the next day they don't trust the police again? That is the fundamental issue.
There are at least 3 members of the British Parliament of Ghanaian origin. Who are they? Adom-Otchere is the MP for Windsor for the Conservative Party. There you see him in your shot over there. Sam Jima, who actually went to Adom-Otchere School, one of us, is also the Member of Parliament for East Surrey. And Kwesi Ennin is the Member of Parliament for Spelton. You see all of them in your shot over here. Now, these are members of the British Parliament with Ghanaian origin. Now, if Sam Jima were campaigning in East Surrey, he would have no business going to the campaign ground with a macho man. He doesn't need it. He doesn't need a macho man. He's confident that in campaigning at East Surrey, if any member of the opposition Labour Party or any other person disrupts his campaign, he's confident that the police in East Surrey, whether they are Conservative or whether they are Labour, will apprehend the person and that person will face justice. So Sam Jima doesn't need to do that when he's campaigning. Have a look at this photograph of myself and David Lammy. David Lammy is the Member of Parliament for Tottenham. An area, Tottenham in London is one of those areas that is said to be populated by Ghanaians. And he's a Jamaican, of Jamaican origin, I should say, but he represents them. I was interviewing him in this photograph on his campaign tour of 2001. He didn't have any macho man with him. He didn't need to have any macho man with him. So after he spoke to the delegates, I pulled him aside and we conducted this interview. If I show you another photograph of a Ghanaian MP who has had a meeting with delegates on the campaign trail and he's been pulled aside to be interviewed by Joy FM or City FM or Peace FM, you will see the macho man standing behind him. Should I show you a photograph of that? I cannot, because it will show also the MP and it will show the politician. I don't want to do that because this is a very important national matter. That is not, we are not faulting anyone. It's not the police's fault. It's not anyone's fault, but it's a conversation we need to have about how to solve this particular national development challenge, about using the institutions of state to work. So if the guy is not confident that if somebody hits me, something will happen, he will carry macho men along. You know that in Hobbes' social contract, he talked about how we give our power to the governing, and we will take that power back and conduct our own affairs if we find that the protection that they are supposed to give us is not being delivered. That's the whole point. Is the protection that we are expecting from the people who have taken the taxpayers' money, are they being allowed to do their work? If it's not working, then ladies and gentlemen, in 2020 we'll find it. We'll find MPs attending rallies with hefty men. They will only be in party uniforms. Even the speed with which all these vigilante groups said that they have disbanded, didn't that worry you? That must be a source of worry to many people. Now, let's look at the theory of people's confidence in institutions. Today in Ghana, if something happens somewhere, say an armed robbery, something of a security nature, something that's a security threatening, when the events happen in Ayawaso West Wogon, people didn't call the police, they called radio station. Because people are confident that if you pick a phone at 2 a.m. and you call City FM and it rings, you will hear on the other side, somebody will pick up the phone and say, my name is Umaru Sanda. You have called City FM. What can I do for you? And the person will say, City FM, there's an armed robbery in Abelempe, or there's something happening here. And immediately City FM will get on air, play the jingle, and then it will go on air. And then the police will react. Ghanaians are more confident about calling radio and TV stations, media houses, to report matters that are of security concern. So if the confidence is there, it is there. If the confidence is not there, if you know that you can call Joy FM and you have, hello, this is Joy FM, this is Daniel Dazi, can I do something for you? You are confident that if it's 4:20 a.m. and you call Joy FM, somebody will pick up the phone. Or you call Adom FM, and you know that if you call Adom FM at 1 a.m. or 4 a.m. or 2 a.m. and the phone rings, somebody will pick up. Hello, my name is Omahene. This is Adom FM, and he will talk to you. Omahene will speak to you about that. Peace FM will speak to you about that, and they will take the matter serious. They will pursue it. They will send a reporter there. They will report to the police, and when they report to the police are more inclined to come and deal with the matter. Why? Because it has become a public matter, and therefore the politician is under the microscope. So in those circumstances, the work is done. That's why. So really, all we are saying and asking you, whether you agree with us or not, that until and unless we have a situation where people are confident that right will be put right, wrong will be put wrong, we will not be able to go far, no matter how many laws that we make. And it is all about the political system. It is all about the mistrust between two political parties. It is all about the acrimony between two political parties. And it's all about political parties shielding their own when they are in power. Even when their own goes wrong, they will not say anything. A whole organizer drives a car through people at a by-election, nothing happens. Nothing happens. So when that culture continues, they may also be equalizing. They will say that, okay, when you are also in power, this happened and nothing happened. So the equalization goes on. If people, young people, we don't look at this matter critically and restore the confidence in our society. Look at the campaigns of old. Look at these people campaigning in the old days. You can see them, Prime Minister Buzia, Dr. Liman, Imoro Ayana. They campaigned that they didn't have macho men, they didn't have hefty men. Even Dr. Kwame Nkrumah ran a campaign. Have a look at this. JB Dankwa and William Ofoyata sitting at the back of a truck campaigning. They didn't have macho men with them. Yes, the situation was not all calm, but they didn't have macho men with them. The 79 campaign was run. Even the 1992 campaign, which the biggest report in 1992's campaign was that a truck of the NDC had been smashed with stones by people believed to be MPP supporters. That was bad. That was 1992's campaign. But all these people didn't have macho men. Let me show you 2016's campaign. Let me show you 2012 campaign. And you will see the hefty macho men standing there. And I can assure you, going into 2020, if I'm a member of parliament for candidate constituency X and I'm going to a rally, or my presidential candidate is coming to a rally, whether I'm opposition or I'm government, I will ensure that we have hefty men. Here ends our story. Let's think about it, because the answer to the vigilante problem lies in critical evaluation of our development challenges and also a critical assessment of the political system and the kind of options that this political system throws to us. Hashtag change the political system. Thanks for listening. Good night. Thanks for listening to that one, but not good night here. That was our opinion, but we are not security experts. Dr. Kwesi Ennin is a security expert, so we spoke to him on Skype earlier today. Would like you to hear that conversation. That's a bit longer than our editorial. If you cut the editorial in the middle or so, tomorrow by 7 a.m. it will be on Facebook, and then you can look at it critically and you can write your comment and write back to us on what your views are on our editorial. Now we're going to our Skype studios where Kwesi Ennin gave us some real expert opinion on the matter. Here's our conversation with Kwesi Ennin. So next on tonight's edition of the program, we spoke to Dr. Kwesi Ennin for his opinion about the Vigilante bill. He's abroad doing the work, as he always does. For those of you who don't know, Kwesi Ennin is a distinguished and celebrated security analyst of more than 20 years standing. And he works with the Kofi Annan Peacekeeping Center here in Accra. And he has also had occasion to speak about the entire Commissioner Short's process and also now the bill that has just gone to Parliament under a certificate of emergency.